So during the commercial break, the sheriff of Maricopa County doing a podcast with Jim Sharp just came in to say hello, and then I let him leave the studio without thinking, why not put him on the air? Let's have a conversation. Thanks for doing this.
Anytime, Mike.
All right, so let's talk about what's going on in the office. We got an update recently. We talked about the raises. We haven't talked on the air since the ride-along I got to do with you on the airboat. That was, first of all, thank you. That was one of the best experiences I've ever had, but it taught me so much about the dangers of that job on the Salt River.
Right. Well, the main reason I wanted you to come is I wanted you to see for yourself great job the deputies are doing every day out there on the river and everywhere else across Maricopa County and how they treat people. Because we have a perception that MCSO is tough on people, we're a racist organization, all that stuff. Yeah. And it's just a perception problem. And that's why I wanted you to come see firsthand what a great job they do for everybody on that river. We spent so much time waving to the people that were happy that you were on the river because of the safety aspect of what can happen when you're mixing alcohol sometimes in the river. But everybody seemed, with few exceptions, happy that you guys were out there. Yeah, I would say 97% of the people out there, Hispanic, Latinos, blacks, whites, everybody was happy to see us out there, and they know that we're out there to keep them safe.
We were on the water for less than 10 minutes, and a call came out that there were 4 people stranded. They had lost their kayaks, and they were stranded, and you had to bring them somewhere safe. If you're not on the river, what happens to those people?
They would probably try to get across that river in that location they were at. It was very fast-moving water and deep. And probably wouldn't have worked out so well for them.
I said, I'm going to tell my friends in Florida where I grew up, and I grew up on airboats, that the best airboat captain I've ever met is in Arizona. There's no way they're going to believe me, but it's absolutely true.
Right. And Billy is a posse member. Huh. And so he does that on his own time, and he has become our #1 airboat pilot.
So let's talk about the other aspects of the agency. What's happening with the sheriff's department with recruiting? Now that these raises have happened, it doesn't fix the problem, but it does address that the deputies now know the county's paying attention, is concerned. Are you feeling the morale shift?
Yes, absolutely. And the reason I know this for sure is because our #1 recruiters are employees. And I can tell they're happier now in their job, both detention, civilian, and deputy sheriffs, because we have a problem now that we don't have enough classroom space for all the people we're hiring. And it's a great problem. It's a lot different problem than I had when I took over in January.
The detention side of things, the big concern the public sees, the concern is overdoses and drugs being introduced into the facilities, but it also adds an extra level of danger for the people that are working in the detention facilities, because when they come in contact with especially fentanyl, it can be deadly to your detention officers. How is that problem being addressed, and do you think are you making strides at making it better inside the jails?
We're making huge strides, and I know I got a lot of criticism by taking now the scanners out from the employee entrances and putting them into the public entrances. And everybody was saying, oh, well, drugs come in mostly through officers and all that. And, my experience has been we've had 2 officers in probably 18, 20 years that have brought drugs in, okay? Most of the drugs come in from body cavities. They hide them in their body cavities. And so what we did is we replaced the scanners with x-ray machines, and now they've been online since just last week, and within 24 hours we caught 5 inmates coming in with drugs in their body cavities, both male and female. And so we've been making a big dent, and what else we're doing is we're doing a lot of shakedowns, and that means we get a bunch of officers and we go through every cell. On Friday of last week, we did a big shakedown in 4th Avenue Jail. That's our maximum security facility. And we got some fentanyl. Mostly we got hooch. Hooch is homemade alcohol, where they'll take some bread and food and fruits and put them in a bottle and hide it and then ferment it. It's really disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
But they can get drunk off of
Sure.
it. And so we got about 200 bottles of hooch. And that was the biggest thing. We found a couple of shanks in the facility. And what we're doing is we're making it safer, not only for the officers, but for the inmates themselves.
And sending a message.
And sending a message. And the message is we are not tolerating this. And so our inmate deaths have gone down, especially the ones for drug overdoses.
There was a public meeting recently. I had the chairman of the Board of Supervisors on, Mr. Galvin, and we talked about this public meeting with the federal overseer, with the person that's watching the sheriff's department. And I think for the first time, because I know it's a public meeting officially, but no one really knew they were going on. And there was some opposition to what they are doing and some questions about when is this going to be over? When is enough enough? And I know you defended your agency there. Is there light at the end of this tunnel? Do you believe that we are going to get near the end of this oversight so that you can actually oversee your entire agency?
Well, you're talking to the eternal optimist right here. And yes, there absolutely is light at the end of the tunnel. And it was nice to see for the first time in 11 years, people come and talk positively about MCSO and what the deputies are doing out there. And so I can see the change in the public. For example, as we put out every time we've had one of these, and we do one every quarter for the last 11 years, we put out a press release to the media. Nobody from the media has ever shown up to one of these meetings. And so now I would imagine the next time we put a press release out that the media will respond this time.
Was the number that you gave a 97% compliance? They're expecting 100%, but is that an accurate number?
The court order says 93% compliance, and we're at 94%.
Okay.
Right.
So when you couple this with the money that's been spent in the county, it had to be encouraging to see the chairman of the Board of Supervisors and some other supervisors at that meeting defending your agency. That had to be encouraging to you, but especially to the people that work for you that are living under this shadow that they didn't create.
Right. And this is the first time that I know of that a board member, and three of the board members came to the meeting, actually showed up and spoke positively about what we're doing at MCSO.
So the expectation from the public when it comes to the sheriff's department, we know that you're the chief law enforcement officer here in the county, but we also have an expectation that we think that what you do is just rural areas of the state, of the county, that, the city agencies, but you're everywhere and you've got a big responsibility everywhere in the county. So you've got a massive county to patrol. How soon do you think it will be that you will have enough deputies to get that job done effectively where you're not being challenged so much by the shortages in workforce?
I think it's going to take about 2 years. And when you hire somebody, and the hiring process is 2 to 3 months, but once you hire them, it takes a year for them to get out there on their own in a patrol car. So it's going to take a little while. We're still about 100 deputies short, and most of those are in patrol. But we're also suffering in our homicide unit. We had some very complicated murders in the last 2 months, and that takes up a lot of time. And so what I would like to do is get another homicide squad out there to relieve the pressure on those detectives that have been working very hard. And the one case with the two teenagers that were murdered up on Mount Ord, those detectives didn't go home for 4 days. I mean, they worked for 4 days straight. And finally, the sergeant had to send them home and go take a shower. You guys stay,
Get some sleep.
Get some sleep, and let's regroup tomorrow.
I appreciate you stopping by and kind of impromptu in the building. It's great to see you, and I appreciate the updates, and I hope to do it again soon.
Great.
Hey,
Thanks, Mike.
Before
Anytime.
Sheriff gets out of here, we're doing that tour of the barn on Monday. What can we expect? Can you ask him for me?
So we're gonna tour the SWAT barn on Monday. That's what Pablo's asking about. What can we expect? What should we expect in that tour?
You're going to see some pretty cool equipment.
Look at how excited.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to go, Sheriff.
Yeah.
He is. Pablo just said he's very excited to go. I know that Patricia is as well, to see the equipment and to meet the people that man that equipment. It should be pretty cool.
It is very cool. It is something that where they have all kinds of machine guns and some less lethal weapons that we use and some riot control measures, and the vehicles that they have, they're kind of like civilianized versions of armored cars, and
the training always blows me away. The coordination and the training that goes into this, it's not as if they get called up and they jump in vehicles and go. There is constant training and coordination so that when a critical incident happens and it's something that's bad enough to call them out, that they're prepared and working together. It really is a choreographed, professional way to do things. That's the part I'm looking forward to seeing.
It is good. The training, they're constantly training. They're a full-time SWAT team. And not a lot of agencies have full-time SWAT teams, but ours is, because we will help other cities and towns that need help and additional SWAT resources.
As always, Sheriff, it's great to see you.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Tap to watch and listen to the new season of Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast. You can also click the button in the middle to subscribe.